Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Caden Thompson.
And I'm Nate Blackwell.
Welcome to Selective Wisdom, where we talk about fitness, bodybuilding, life, and everything in between.
We are excited to be here and expand on a range of different subjects and topics we don't get to talk about very often. Let's jump right in.
Yeah, welcome to episode number 5 already, which is crazy.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Which is wild. It's so wild that it's Christmas already.
Dude,
you know what
this
I mean?
year has been so chaotic that it flew.
Literally
has. I feel like I haven't had like a moment to breathe in like a long time, which is fine.
I'm trying to think the last time that I was probably like you said, like able to breathe was Houston. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that was January, February of this year.
Because everything was happening so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but
I mean, I don't know. I hate saying this because people are like, feel some type of way about it, but like, dude, I hate Christmas. I hate it.
You're fucking lame, dude. Dude, I don't know why. I don't know why.
I hate it so much.
I love Christmas time. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like
how were they when you were growing up? I know why I hate it.
We were poor, right? My family was very poor, but we always had really great Christmases.
Yeah.
So typically the way that it would work is we had this family that didn't have any kids. My mom was obviously a single mom. My dad was great. My dad would always do really great for Christmas. When we go over to his house, we always had a fantastic Christmas, but it was more family oriented.
How early was their break? Like their split?
I was 6 when my mom left, so it was early.
Okay, so it was early. Okay,
yeah.
So it kind of was always like that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I'm probably the only one who remembers them being together between my brother and sister, who were both younger. 2.
2 other siblings.
Yeah, so my brother is 2 years younger than me, so he'd have been 4, and then my sister is 7 years. No. 6 years younger than me, something like that. Younger than me. She's the youngest.
My brother's 6 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that age gap.
It's weird. Oh well, let's see. Yeah, I guess she probably would have been 2 though. Yeah. I think she would have been 2. So maybe it was only 4 years. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it was 5 years. I can't remember. I don't even know how old she is. I know her birthday, but I don't remember how old she is. But yeah, I mean, my Christmases were great, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I remember some specific ones where I got some things that I really didn't think I was going to get that I really wanted.
Yeah, those are the best.
You know what's crazy? Have you ever seen those videos of those kids where it's like they set them gummies and they're like, hey, if you don't eat this, it's like one gummy. They're like, if you don't eat this one gummy, I will give you 10 gummies when I come back. And they leave them sitting there for as long as possible. Have you seen those videos? Like those experiments they do with kids? It's like a psychology thing. So it's a way to tell like if somebody is going to be a good entrepreneur, a good business person, whatever. It's like kind of a telltale sign. It's like if they can delay gratification, then they're really good. I remember one Christmas, my grandma, we were walking through Walmart, and I don't know if you know this. You might be too young. Do you remember? Oh my gosh, it's like Dubs something. It's not dubstep, but it's like Dubs something, and they were, or maybe it was just Dubs, but they were cars and they were low riders.
Dubs.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you heard of them before?
Are you talking about toys?
Yes, they're like the toys were like quality. I mean, like big cars. Like they were, they weren't like toys, little bitty ones. They were like about the size of like a tissue box or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
I remember like when you said the name, I can see like the logo. I know what the logo looks like. But I never had them.
Yeah, I'll send you what I'm talking about. But we were in there and my grandma she was like, you can either get this, which was 2 Dubs like cars. It's funny because my dad still has these cars, which is crazy. So these 2 Dub cars, which were really popular, they were the in thing. If you had Dubs cars, you were the cool kid, blah, blah, blah. Or she was like, if you wait till Christmas, I will buy you this big ass monster truck with like a controller that you can ride around, like drive around. Delayed gratification, right? Guess which one I took?
The cars. Right
the
then and
cars, the Doves. I took them right then and there, and I like I said, my dad still has them. I think I gifted them to him. You know, my dad loves cars. I think I gifted them to him one Christmas, and I was like, "You keep these," and he still has them. Like when I go to his house, if I remember, I will send you a picture of those cars.
Yeah.
No, they just sit there. They're just he has a display, and they just sit on his display. But yeah, that was a pretty good Christmas. And then one year I got a Terrell Owens jersey. That was probably my favorite Christmas ever. Bro, when he was on the Cowboys and they were just, they were nasty. And I love, dude, that's the reason I wanted to play football. I wanted to be a receiver so bad, even though I was slow, uncoordinated, and just like, you know what I mean?
See, but I think that's a part of the reason why I don't watch sports nowadays is because sure there's LeBron and sure there's, like the people that are the top guys now, but I just feel like there was just something about football back then because I did used to watch sports. And like when I would watch games and like it's just everything is getting so much softer now and it's just like
it is. It's
like
not
even basketball, like I look at old highlights, they let them boys play.
Well, like the NFL for sure has gotten soft. I was thinking about this.
It, but it's a dangerous game,
trying
bro.
to protect people. But the thing is like the athletes are getting so crazy now that they're literally like, if they just smack somebody, they could kill them. You know what I mean? Like a regular human, they would kill them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, they're just getting super, super, super ridiculously athletic. And I think but like for me, that's the reason I love college sports now. I was a huge NFL guy, hated college football, not hated it, but didn't really watch it. I grew up in Tennessee, and Tennessee is a football town, bro. You want to talk about a football state? Tennessee is a football state.
American state.
Yeah, dude. It's I mean, goodness. And so yeah, I grew up watching NFL. Then T.O. retired, Peyton Manning retired, Brett Favre retired. Like all these guys that I just really loved all started retiring, and I was like, I don't want to watch the NFL anymore. None of these guys interest me. Now, I will say this. If I was going to be a fan of any NFL team right now, it would be the Buffalo Bills. Really? Josh Allen, it would be the Buffalo Bills or the Cincinnati Bengals. Like if I had to pick a new team, I love Joe Burrow. I love Josh Allen. I love the teams they have around them. I love them. They're just awesome.
Are there still they play games on like around Christmas too, don't they?
Yeah. They had a Thanksgiving Day game, depending on when Christmas is. If Christmas is like on a Sunday or a Thursday or a Monday, then yeah, they will.
I think it's a Tuesday.
This year I think it's on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So I doubt they'll have a game on Christmas. They'll have one after it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Christmas, what is your favorite Christmas food?
Oh,
you're hold on. Let me set the scene. You are at your grandparents. I don't know if your grandparents.
This is the issue with my answer because like, dude, I don't have. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like growing up, my mom, my little brother's dad is not my dad. We have different dads. We have the same mom.
Right.
It's like growing up, whenever she was with him and had my little brother, and they were still together. Like his side of the family did some like Christmas stuff, and like so we'd go over there. But I don't really like remember those times when I was a kid. Other than that, like my mom's side of the family is rough, so a lot of them we just don't do things together. So it was really always just kind of me and my brother, and when they were still together, his dad, like all small stuff. So we never we never really had like a crazy big like Christmas meal. But when we did, it was usually like just the normal stuff, ham and stuff like that. So that would be that, and then my mom would make something she did this for Thanksgiving too. It was like this corn casserole thing. So it would probably be those two. But I don't really do anything like crazy, on Christmas. And like this year, we're going home.
What about Kaylee's family?
So
does Kaylee's family not do anything?
Yes, she has one person in her family that we'll go to. Like we're going to go to her house. Actually, her dad and her mom are doing a Christmas dinner as well. So, but I haven't been over to her dad's for like and stayed like Christmas dinner yet because we would always like go there, maybe stay the night, do things in the morning, and then we'd go to my house. Later in the day. So we'll see what they have. They'll probably have some good stuff, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, for me growing up, like we never did. Our like tradition thing was like we would go to a movie or see like
Ooh.
the new movie that's out. We did that. Like we would open presents, just chill, and then
Mhm.
I'd probably play the new video game that I got for
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
for all
yeah.
day, and then we'd go to a movie and hang out afterwards. But what about you?
Yeah, it's funny, dude. Yeah, mine's like the complete opposite. I mean,
Yeah.
we have two big families. So my mom's family is very big. She has 6 brothers and sisters. They all have like at least 2 kids. Some of them have up to like 6 or 7 kids. So I mean, I have 50, 60 cousins out there.
That's insane. Like I couldn't fathom that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we would always, especially when we lived in Tennessee, we would always go to my grandma's house and my aunts and uncles. I mean, and the bad thing is they're all over the place. So right now I have an aunt that lives in Maine. I have an aunt and uncle that live in Maine, an aunt and uncle that live in Oregon. I have aunt and uncle that lives in Houston. I have aunts and uncles that live. I mean, they're just all over the place. My grandma, I think, lives in Kentucky now, or something like that.
Do they all come together like during the holidays?
No. That's what I'm saying. Not anymore, because when my grandpa passed away, and my grandma kind of started living with like kind of different families that were kind of close. We kind of all stopped coming there, but we would go there.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. I loved it. But I think some of the fondest memories though that I have as far as family gatherings weren't even necessarily with my family. They were more like with my ex-girlfriends' families. Like, and I'm talking about 2 of them in specific. Like one, her dad was like this freaking awesome cook, and I mean, dude, he would just be like grilling. He'd be out on the grill, dude. Yeah, oh my goodness, it was awesome. And their whole family would come to their house. We would play Christmas games, and that's the thing that I loved about. That's the thing that I love about Christmas. I don't care necessarily about the presents. I don't mind giving presents. I don't mind getting
that
presents.
That goes away as you get older anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, okay, I told you what I wanted and you got me what I wanted. That's there's no surprises anymore, really.
No.
But like the fun part for me is like the meal and the games, like hanging out and playing games. So it's fun because now that we don't kind of do those things where like Nat's family is not super big on getting together with her whole family or anything like that. So my family, we have a Christmas party at my grandma's house, my Granny Grace's. We'll go up there. That'll be fun. And then on Christmas Day, though, we will get together. It'll be my mom, my brother, my sister. Both of their girlfriends and like girlfriend, boyfriend. Obviously, me and Nat. Lennox may come over, and I may invite some other friends. Like I have some friends who don't have a whole lot of family, so I'll invite them to come over and eat, and we'll have like
nice.
For Christmas, dude. My favorite thing is quiche. My mom makes this like. Do you know what quiche is?
What the hell is that? No.
Okay, so quiche, and this
it doesn't sound like something I would like.
You would
sounds
love it.
Foreign.
Trust me, you would love it. So it is. This may not be how everybody makes quiche, but this is just how my mom makes it, and it's delicious. It comes in a big glass pan. I'm trying to show it in the camera, but a big glass pan. And it is eggs, broccoli, bacon, cheese.
Oh, I know.
I think that's it. And they're like all mixed together. It's like this soupy. That was cold. That's what it is. That's what quiche is.
That's not what I thought that was called
at
all.
That's quiche. Yeah,
I've had that before.
So if you ever go to like Starbucks, I think Starbucks has a quiche option. They even have like an egg white quiche, I think, option too. But that's probably my favorite food, honestly. Yeah. And normally what we'll do is we'll do that. I'll have orange juice, cinnamon rolls, and then my mom may even make extra bacon on the side. Bro, like, oh my goodness. My mom is so funny because like we're all her kids are assholes, just straight up. We all are. And especially to her, just because she takes it like so to heart, and we kind of make fun of her by doing it. I texted her this year because what she'll do is she'll make cinnamon rolls. I'm like, Mom. And what she'll do is she'll make them though. And then like we get over there to eat 11 o'clock ish, you know what I mean? And we're starving. We're hungry. We haven't had breakfast yet or anything like that. And then she's like, oh, I just got to put the cinnamon rolls in. 40 minutes later, like we're waiting for these freaking cinnamon rolls because she made them, right? I texted her this year and I said,
from scratch?
Yeah, she makes them from scratch. My mom's a really good cook.
That's fire.
So she'll make them from scratch, and she makes her own like drizzle and everything. I said, Mom, she was asking like what we wanted, like, what do you guys want? And I was like, I want orange juice, cinnamon rolls from the store. Like I put in parentheses from the store because I love
Or
those
just tell her to
Pillsbury.
put them in time
dude,
so they're ready.
dude, it's not happening. It is not happening. My mom is not that.
Just as stubborn as you. Huh?
She is. It's not that she's stubborn. It is that she is. If she can be late to something, she's gonna be late to something. Like she is, and she has been like that. That's one of the reasons that my dad used to get so mad at her, was because she could never be on time for anything in her life.
I do hate that. It's
amazing. It amazes me. She'll spend all night cooking, and then we'll be like, all right, we're ready for the food at 11 o'clock, and she's like, oh well, I gotta put it
ready at 5
in the oven. Yeah, it's like, then why the fuck am I here at 11?
5 hours.
Yeah, but my mom just she always goes hard for Christmas. But shout out to her, she's awesome.
What do you I mean, especially for you right now, you're on a plan. Like what are you?
Like a fat
what
loss
is
phase.
what's your? Because I'm sure a lot of people freak out about that, and it's like.
I had a
no matter how much you tell somebody that one meal is not going to ruin you, it's like people still freak out. But like,
dude, I had a client today text me, literally message me. It was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this is what I'm going to be doing. And like he listed out every day who he was going to eat with, what they were eating. And I was like, bro, this is awesome. You are going to stress me out by stressing yourself out about this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was like, I love this. I'm so glad that you're like this invested, because he is. He's very invested. He's one of my favorite clients. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny. I sent him a voice message. I was like, bro, listen, you know what to do. You know what to eat when you go out to a restaurant. We've done this. We've been here before. Just go enjoy yourself. Relax. We're going to start our pre-prep phase right after the new year. You will be just fine. You know what I mean?
Well,
and he looks great,
Unless you're in prep, like if you're in prep, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who's necessarily prepping on Christmas, because there's no.
I've done it twice. I've done it twice.
Really?
I've done it twice. I've been through Thanksgiving and Christmas twice, and typically this is what we at Tua do. I'm sure you guys at TM are a bit different. Christmas Day is a calorie day. Okay, obviously, and here's the issue, right? Yeah, you got to be able to trust your client. You just do. You have to let them figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? You can only give them so much leash before they have to figure out, okay, there's a fucking cliff right there. Let me not walk over that cliff. You know what I mean? So what we do is we're going to eat mostly meat. So this is hopefully lean meat. So turkey, chicken, last resort would be ham. Try to get them not fried, so not fried chicken, not, you know what I mean, like get the baked ham, the baked turkey, the whatever it is. And then you're going to have a small portion of carbs, so you can have like one roll, and you can have like maybe mac and cheese or mashed potatoes or something like that. And you're going to have veggies if they have veggies. My family never has veggies, by the way, unless it's like green bean casserole, which is not veggies at all.
And even if there is veggies, they're probably cooked in butter.
Drowned in butter, drowned in oil.
The normal family stuff.
And that's all fine. And then you're allowed to have one dessert, right? Now, if you're on prep, we do it a little bit different. We're gonna do. Okay,
I thought this was what you were talking about. I thought you were talking about.
No. This is like just like if you're in kind of a fat loss phase and you want to stay on your goal, that's kind of what we do, right? Is you eat mostly meat, right? Mostly meat. Have a little bit of each. Like try all the little things, and then you can have one dessert. If you're on prep, no dessert. You're gonna try to stick to your whole foods. So if you have mashed potatoes, get mashed potatoes because they're basically potatoes, right? Now I know they're gonna have sour cream probably and maybe some butter in them and blah 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 blah. But it's better than you getting mac and cheese, which almost has zero nutritional value. You know what I mean? Which is for sure going to be a lot of
carbs and fat.
Carbs and fat, and that's it. At least the potatoes, your body's probably used to digesting those things anyways, and they're going to go through and be just fine. Again, you're going to stick to white meats, so turkey, chicken, main thing, right? You can have a good bit of it. Thing is, though, is you need to have hit your cardio. If you can get cardio done on Christmas, that'd be awesome, right? Obviously, not everybody has a gym they can go to on. Yeah, you can't always do it. But what I tell them to do is as soon as you're done eating and presents are done and you're kind of like chilling and relaxing, everybody's going to watch football or watch a Christmas movie or whatever, you need to go on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go on a 30-minute to 45-minute walk.
I like that,
right?
actually, yeah.
Because for one thing, it's going to help your food digest. It's going to help your food settle. It's going to get it.
I would
and
be
then,
taking a walk before and after, if you know what I mean.
And so the protocols don't change, right?
Yeah.
10,000 steps, you need to get that in. You know,
Yeah.
like cardio, you need to get that in. If you need to go
We're
find
on
a gym
prep,
that has one of those little, exactly. You're in prep. Now when it comes to that type of mentality, man, you have to be locked in. Like it's tough. It's tough when you're on prep.
I have, I mean, it's not, it is probably ends up working out the exact same, but for me, every single, now, depending on how deep we are in prep, I know free meals are something.
My thing is, just to clarify what you just said, most people aren't competing in March, right?
No.
So I was on prep, but I had just started my prep in December.
Yeah.
For a
That's
show in May or June, right?
That's what I'm saying. So again, you're probably not.
You're not at 4 weeks out. If you were 4 weeks out, you better bring your fucking food to the function, and you better eat just the food, like just straight up.
Exactly,
sorry.
and that's just how it
You're
has
4
to
weeks
be.
out. Yeah, we can't.
So
risk that.
for me, all lifestyle people that I have right now, most are in a fat loss phase, as a lot of them are within the first 3-4 months. So we had some fat to pull off, but that or even if you're in prep that far out, now again, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, that's maybe a different story, but you're probably going to have a cheat meal in your plan, right? I love keeping those in no matter what.
Yep.
And I don't really I have a couple people doing macros, but the trust that I have for those 2 guys out of the 13 or whatever is beyond trust that I have in myself, honestly. So that's why. But they all have those cheat meals. So what I'll do is just like, okay, we're going to take the weekly cheat meal out, replace it with your Christmas dinner, your Thanksgiving dinner, whatever.
Yep.
Your guidelines are, just like yours. Like, we're not going to, and I had this problem with a client the other day where we had to have a conversation, but it's like, you're not going to, even though it's Christmas Day, even if you weren't on a plane at all, we probably shouldn't be pigging out from sun up to sundown, right? So like I was talking to a client the other day and he was like, hey, like, do you have any like suggestions or tips or anything to like, he was like, cause in Thanksgiving, he was like, I found myself around a lot of food and then there was leftovers and dessert leftovers and all those things. And he found himself picking at them and things like that. And he was asking for like ways to like get around that. And I'm like, at the end of the day, dude, I gave him like a couple tidbits, but the bottom line is you just can't reach for the food all day. Like there's no, what are you going to do instead of taking all of the leftovers you have and throwing them into a fire and getting rid of them completely? You're going to find yourself reaching at them if you don't build that. Like this is where you're building your good habits. So like one meal is not going to ruin you.
This is where the discipline comes into play.
Even if you're 4 weeks out of prep and you are like, damn, I just couldn't control myself, and you had a small plate of your Christmas dinner, that's still probably not going to ruin you. It's what you're going to do around that. When you're at the family's house all day and there's cookies and cakes and you keep reaching at them, that's what's going to ruin you. And then the next day doing the same thing.
Yes, I had this conversation with one of my. I just started taking on nutrition only clients, and I was having this conversation with them the other day. I said, listen, man. Let's say you do go out and cheat once. It's Christmas. You go out and you cheat once. The issue is not that you cheated necessarily. Okay, it is an issue, but it's not necessarily an issue because cheating once, like going out and having an off-plan meal once, is not, like you said, going to ruin you. What it is going to do, though, is it is going to ruin your self-efficacy, your self-discipline, your self-belief is basically what I'm saying. It is going to ruin your self-belief by you cheated once. Now it's opening the door for you to cheat later again. And I'm telling you, that first time is the hardest to say yes. It gets only easier after that. What I mean by say yes is saying yes to cheating, right? To cheating on your diet. The first time you say yes to cheating on your diet, the second time it's going to be way easier. It's basically the same as saying no, right? I used to work at a place where they would bring in donuts every single Friday, lay them out on the big table. And guess what? I never partook one single time. You want to know what the hardest time for me to say no was? The first time, my first week there, I'm the new guy. Everybody's standing there watching everybody eat donuts, and I'm standing there not eating anything, drinking probably my white Monster or whatever I was drinking to get the day started, and had somebody walk over and offer me one. Hey, yeah, you can get one there for the whole office. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
And then, but after that, people stopped asking me. People quit asking me if I wanted food. And now it's funny because I've done so many preps and been on so many diets where I don't cheat, that my dad asked me, he's like, you're not going to be on one of those diets, are you? Because he was like inviting me to I love it. Because to me, it shows that my parents and my family are not at all, except for maybe one of my uncles and one of my cousins, are not bodybuilding, not lifting,
health conscious,
nothing.
really.
They're not, they're health conscious, my dad especially, but like they're not workout aholics or anything like that. They're not going to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I go to their house, the first couple times I have to tell them no. But then eventually they kind of pick up on the fact that, oh, Nate like sticks to what he says he's going to do. So let me not even tempt him with that, right?
Yeah.
Let me not even like offer that. I've gone to family dinners where we go to restaurants and I've sat there with a glass of water and that's it.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But guess what? You know what else sucks? Losing. You know what I mean?
Losing does suck.
Coming in fat on stage, coming in not in shape. Like that shit sucks, dude. Which I've done that before too. So I know both sides.
Well, and people who get like, I know for me, like I've seen, and dude, I could go even further than what I went before, but I've seen being so lean that you're just like, this isn't even real. Like that stuff, like once you can finally do it, once you finally see the other side, you're like, okay, yeah, it's completely worth it. But it's the guys who can never get in shape and never come in right. And I see it all the time. Like there's this one person that I follow who I watched through his whole prep, like posts on Snapchat, drinking and eating this and that. And like, of course he came in not looking the best. And then now like you continue to see that behavior. And it's like, you never got to the other side, dude. Like you never saw what that discipline can actually do for you. So that would be anybody going into Christmas, just do your thing on that, that meal. Like these guidelines are great. Like if you follow mostly protein, go down the line from protein to fats. Most of it's protein. Some of it's carbs, and then as little fat as possible. Even though most of your family's meals are probably going to be pretty fat heavy, but you do it that way, and you're going to be fine.
That's the thing with these meals, right? Is we see it as, okay, this is potatoes, so potatoes don't have a whole lot of fat in them, but I don't think our families don't think that way. Our families think, hey, let's make this taste as good as possible. Let me put sour cream cheese, and butter in this joker, mix them all in, and then that's why they taste so good, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we say
anything with 700 grams of fat in it, it's going to taste amazing.
Yes, literally. Like if that's why we say avoid the fats and even the fattier meats, right? So the porks, which I love ham. I love usually we have roast as well. I love roast. I won't eat a whole lot of that stuff.
It's not the best.
Well, it's not that it's not the best. It's that it's the highest in fat content.
Yeah.
Right. With the lowest in protein, basically it's the highest calorie. Okay. So that's kind of the main thing is just avoid eating a ton of those high calorie foods. And I promise you'll be okay. But I mean, we could have this, I was going to say something earlier. We could have this conversation on a different podcast, but like the amount of, like mental struggle you have to go through when you're in a fat loss phase to not eat foods that you crave, I promise it's not worth you giving up the goal that you have because I promise you're gonna eat that food, it's gonna taste really good, but then 30 minutes later you're gonna feel like crap about yourself. I know it. I've seen it. Worst. I've been through it myself. Like I know for a fact that that's what happens. Is it you cheat once, feel good for 20 minutes, and then you feel like crap for a week about yourself. And then guess what? That plays into you wanting to then go and cheat again because you're like, the only dopamine that I got was from that hit of little bit of food that I got.
Exactly. It's addictive.
It is so addictive. So just, honestly, I hate to say it like this, but honestly, if you think you're that type of person, or if you're that type of person, avoid eating any of the Christmas food. Like seriously, if you have a goal,
if it's going to send you into a spiral,
exactly. If it's going to send you into a deep abyss of, yo-yo dieting, cheating, if you're this type of person too, if you're the type of person that thinks, oh, I'll eat whatever I want today, and then tomorrow I'll just go do a bunch of cardio and get it off. No, you won't. No, you won't. I promise you won't.
Not how it works.
That's not how it works. Because then you're going to be starving the following day as well. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to have all that leftover food sitting around because your family's going to all still be there. And what are you going to do? You're going to eat again. So you're going to go do double the amount of cardio?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Or crashing your next day calories. Don't do that either.
Don't do that. That's what I told my client. That's exactly what I told my clients. I said, when if you cheat, your number one thing to do, right, no, that's not the number one thing. I did tell him communication is key. Please tell your coach if you cheat. It's not that big of a deal, guys. We're not going to freaking we're not going to cut you from the roster because
you're done.
Yeah. Like, come on. But you got to be honest with this. But no, that's not what I was saying. The thing is get back to the plan.
Oh yeah,
get back. I mean, immediately get back on plan. This does not mean crash your calories. This does not mean double up your cardio. This does not mean you got to go work out for 3 hours. I'm talking about get back on your normal diet, get back on your normal cardio and your normal training. If you can do those things, it's like an interception with a quarterback in the NFL. The best quarterbacks in the NFL throw interceptions. Guess what they do when they throw an interception? They forget about it and move on to the next play. It doesn't matter. It could be the worst. It could be a pick six in the fourth quarter. And guess what? They're still going to come out the next play and throw the ball again. Yep. You have to be that type of person. To be good at the sport of bodybuilding, to be good in the fitness space, if you cheat, you have to get right back on the horse and keep going the direction you were going.
Shit, just to even have a sustainable,
that's what I mean,
healthy lifestyle. Even if you're neither of those things, you're not going to. That's where it hits people the worst. Like the bodybuilders are usually the ones who are good about getting back on plan. A month and a half ago, I fucked off one of my meals for the first time in a long time and went and had a cheat meal that I shouldn't have had. And that night I got back on plan. So but what people, and this is something that I told my client that I was telling you that had these questions, was what people don't realize is, and I say this all the time, we think of the thoughts that are crossing our mind, we feel like our body recognizes those the same way we see them. So like a dopamine response, dude, you can get the same dopamine response from a piece of candy that you can get from reading a good book. Like your body doesn't understand these nuanced differences in these. So if you can find something positive to fill the void of going and binge eating, you're not going to think in the moment that this is going to satisfy that dopamine craving.
Yeah.
But you continue to do that, it will. It 100% will.
Right.
Like for me, I would probably rather, or I would feel like I would rather wake up in the morning, smoke a bunch of weed and not do anything. But after I do that, I feel like shit. I wake up, I go do an hour of cardio, and I come in here, I eat my meals, I take my vitamins, I get to work. By the end of the day, I realized, man, I felt really motivated and really got after it today. It's only hard deciding to make that move, but once you make the move, the outcome is exactly what you wanted. It just didn't happen in the way you thought it would happen. So choose something positive to fill that void.
That first step is always the hardest. Like I said, that's what I was saying earlier. That first no is going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
And when you've been on your diet for 3 months, that first yes, to say yes and cheat on your diet that you've been perfect on for 3 months, is going to be the hardest one. Second one, it's not so hard. Third one is not so hard. Fourth one, you're doing it and you're not even thinking about it at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so on and so on. Same for the no's. Same goes for the no. If you say no the first time, you say no the second time, you say no the third time, guess what? The fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 20th are going to be easy. But no, I'm good. Thank you, though. You don't even have to explain yourself. No, I'm good. Thank you. You know, so guys, don't overthink and overhype this Christmas thing. I love Christmas time. I love the food. I love the gifts. I love the family. I love all of it. I really do. I love Christmas, but I would hate for my Christmas to be ruined. And I would hate to be the coach that feels like they're ruining people's Christmas.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? By being overly strict on yourself. Go relax, have a good time, and then get right back on track the next day. I promise you'll be fine. we could talk about the psychology of all of that in another podcast. But like, man, you want to talk about people who are built for this sport are people who can go celebrate, have a good time with their friends, and then get right back on track the next day.
Yeah.
Like, those are going to be the best because they're able to not, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for? They're able to like basically forget, you know what I mean? Like forget that they be right back on it. You know what I mean? They're not going to the next thing. So
yeah, stress is going to do you much worse than having a little Christmas meal will.
Yeah.
100%. And then same thing for New Year's. I know the biggest thing for people on New Year's is drinking, but I don't know. I mean,
let's talk about that real quick. And we'll do it real quick. I want to talk about my protocols for drinking, and you can talk about your protocols for drinking. Obviously, depending on when I'm talking about protocols for things like this, I'm talking about people who are not on prep. Okay.
Yeah.
Normally, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
On prep, you should not drink. Period. Point blank.
Yeah. You got to know what you're getting into with that.
You got to shut that down. And then, especially if you're an enhanced athlete, absolutely not. Like you're not doing it. Sorry. But my protocols are the best drink to have is going to be something like a vodka with club soda, vodka, Sprite Zero. Some people are weird and like vodka, Diet Mountain Dew. Things like you can do vodka and then some sort of like 0-calorie soda or whatever.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do is you limit that to 3. You get 3.
3?
So 1 ounce of alcohol or vodka, it has 7 grams of, it has 7 calories in it. 1 ounce has, 1 ounce has, is it 7 grams?
Or is it 70
calories? No, I'm trying to remember if it's definitely not 70. Anyways, alcohol. Okay. So you know how you have like 1 gram of carbs is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat equal. That's how it is for alcohol. I don't think it's 1 gram though. I think it's 1 ounce. But alcohol is mostly carbs, especially things like vodka. But they do have alcohol sugars in them, so that's why they have 7 calories and not 4. So if you do that, if you have the 3 shots, one thing, you're going to be feeling tipsy. Like you're going to be good. You're going to feel good. You're not going to feel anything, but you're not going to be drunk. You're not going to be like so drunk that you can't function. And the main thing, the reason that I say limit yourself drinking wise to 3 is after 3 is when you start to make bad decisions. That's when you start to like have issues with wanting to go out and eat after the bar, after the club. And guess what's open? Nothing healthy. Nothing healthy. So you're going to go and have a burger. You're going to go and have fries. You're going to go and have, whatever it is. Right. And it just allows you to not make bad decisions. So my thing is 3 drinks of vodka. If you want to take straight shots, you can take straight shots. I'm cool with that. Yeah, it's gross. It's disgusting. I don't know why you'd want to do it.
I don't drink at all, so it's like
it's all gross. I'm not a big drinker. I do drink on occasion, and typically it's off season, absolutely, and then it is also usually it's 1 or 2 nights, and then I'm done for 6 months. Won't drink again. Won't touch another sip. You know what I mean? And will I get drunk? Yeah. I mean, when I'm with my friends, like I'm honestly, I'll probably go out with my friends when I go home for Christmas. I'll go out with Jay and Joey, probably both.
Dang, man.
Yeah, I know. I know. It sucks.
It's unfortunate.
We'll make a trip.
Dude.
We'll make a trip to Florida. You're gonna hate both of them. It's gonna be so funny because they're just not like us at all.
Dude, me and Jay are going to.
You will love Jay. You will love. Jay.
I already do.
Jay's so fucking funny, man. Joey is more like he's more like the frat boy a little bit, but shout out to those guys, man. Some freaking cool dudes. I like them. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to go out and drink and have a good time. And then guess what? I'm going to be right back on plan next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be just fine. Like no problems. And I won't drink again until after prep next year, maybe.
Yeah.
And I might not even do it then. You know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, if you want to go into your protocols, that's what mine is. No beer.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing else.
That's kind of and again, like you said something earlier about you have to trust your clients. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
in
Well,
my
see, what I'm
opinion,
talking about is if a client comes to you and is like, "Hey, I enjoy drinking. I drink with my friends on the weekends. I like going out. I like having a good time." You know, they're not trying to be a bodybuilder. Maybe they're just a lifestyle client. Like, what do you say to them when it comes to that? Are you like we got to lock it in? If you want to lose 20 pounds, we're not drinking, or is it like I'll give you some leeway, but if we start to see things slip, then we're
so
changing it back. Like, yeah, tell me what you think.
here's how I approach things. Number one, I do have something that I got from Justin,
Mhm. Like a
to
protocol.
mitigate, sort of, to
Okay.
mitigate the effects we're going to see from alcohol. What are the bad effects, right? This is going to immediately slow your liver, right? So, fat oxidation, all these things, it's going to make fat loss harder. Even if you
Mhm.
just go out and drink one night, you are going to, it's not going to halt your progress, but you are
Mhm.
going to be worse off. So that's thing number
Mhm.
one that everybody has to understand. So we need to mitigate the effects of that, of, your liver clearing those toxins out. It's poison. Don't care if you like to drink, you're
Yep.
poisoning yourself every single time you do it. So your liver has to detoxify that, and it's very hard to do that with alcohol, which, fructose, I believe it's fructose. I'm gonna have to fact check myself on that.
Mhm.
The liver sees that similar to alcohol, so that's why those
Got it.
foods are so bad for you as well.
Mhm.
But activated charcoal, and there's another piece that I add to that. It's another supplement. I forget the name of it. I have the
Probably
protocol
not.
written down, but I'll have to look it up. No, it's
Probably
not
NA.
something like that. It's
Oh.
something that goes with the activated charcoal. But what the activated charcoal does is it binds to these things. So you can do this with a free meal, or if
Mhm.
you are going to have a cheat meal even, and you don't want it to affect you. You want it to be bound up and just tossed through. So what it does is it binds
Mhm.
to these things, and it doesn't get broken down. It doesn't get used. The nutrients don't get absorbed. It goes in and it goes out. Right.
Yep.
So that's my first like little secret that I'll have people do. Like I had somebody go away on a business trip, and he was like, we're going to have company dinners. We're going to be like, people are going to be drinking all
Mhm.
these things. I had him get that, and take that throughout. And I mean, we came back lighter from the
Mhm.
from the trip, but
Charcoal, dude. Charcoal is an amazing freaking.
it's phenomenal.
It's great
It's
for it.
phenomenal. Hmm.
They use it in drug addicts all the time.
Yep,
That's like
exactly. It
overdoses and
is.
stuff like that. It's awesome.
Hmm. It is really good for, like, if you're putting in something in your body you don't want to, um,
Mhm.
kind of be broken down and fuck up your body. Like you can
Yeah.
utilize that to get it in and out.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. But I take the approach of, hey man, here is your goals, right? And for most like lifestyle people, is, one night of drinking a week, like, can we get around that? Is that going to, make you unable to get to where you're going? No, that's obvious. But I lay out, like, these are your goals. Here is the what I would do to get you there the absolute fastest, and that's not going to involve drinking 2 nights a week, right?
Mhm.
Okay, we have that laid out. That's the quickest way we can get here. Okay, now here we have your goals, and then we can play with this a little bit. If you want to go out on the weekends one night and have a few drinks, right? We'll put
Mhm.
in the charcoal. We'll, maybe pull down some carbs from the day, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
to give you a little bit of room, and then
Mhm.
maybe give, some guidelines. Like I always tell people, like, if you're going to drink, please don't drink beer, please. But regardless, we can play it that way. Again, are we going to be in a better position or in the same position as the expedited plan? No, but I
No.
want you to understand that I'm not saying no to this. I'm telling you, here's the two routes we can take.
Mhm.
And then that's where the trust in the client comes in. And I just, like, I always tell people, like, these are your goals. Like, if you say you
Mhm.
want to do this, here's why I would recommend or not recommend doing this. Here's what you say you want to do. Like, here's where we're going to be if you do this. Is that worth it to you? And, I don't try to make it seem like, hey, if you like fear monger them into not doing what they want to do,
Mhm.
but I'm just very clear with what's going on. I'm not going to be the coach that's like, oh dude, yeah, go out and drink twice a week. Like, that's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
We have to understand,
That's
because
there has to be some what is the word I'm looking for? There has to be some limitations.
yes, of
There
course,
has to be
but
some
you as
limitations
a
because they
client
will
should have those for yourself,
they
right?
they
So
should,
like,
but they don't. That's the reason they hired us. That's the
well,
issue. is it a lot
I'm
of
not
times
saying that
coaches
it's
will, no, I know, but I'm saying coaches will
yeah.
put trust in their client because they're like, I trust them. They're killing their thing. They're going to a wedding this weekend. Let them have a freebie. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you better not do that because they are possibly going to go crazy. And then guess what? It not only does it, and that's that one time where they said yes. And the second time, it's easier to say yes to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Third time, cheat. Fourth time, cheat. Then you start to see a revolving door of them cheating, right? If you put a
Exactly.
limitation on it and they follow that limitation, you know what I mean? And then you're like, hey, I want check-ins the next day. So like, I'm going to know what you did. Like, I'm going to know if you
Yeah.
went crazy.
Yeah.
And if you do that, dude, I'm telling you, it like, does it fearmonger people a little bit? But it also is like, hey, I care about your goals as much as you do.
Well, and you
Like,
have to
I
care
want,
about them as much as I
yeah,
do as well. And like my thing
exactly.
is, coaching is a relationship, right? What do you
Mm-hmm,
always have to do in relationships? Compromise. So I'm going to meet you
mm-hmm,
in the middle. I'm going to give
mm-hmm,
you a little bit of what you want, but I also need to
mm-hmm,
get you where you said you
mm-hmm.
want to go. So you need to meet me in the middle and give me a little bit as well. That's why
Right.
even on cheat meals, I do not give my clients go get a cheat meal. I don't say that. I
Well, that's
personally tell them
cheap.
we have
Yeah.
a free meal.
Yep. I never
Well,
use the word cheat meal ever. Don't use, like, if you're listen, if you are a coach out there and you're listening to this, do not ever use the word cheat meal. I love high carb day
and
because what
even
that
that,
means, like high carb day means like, okay. And the thing is, I set a perimeter. I
yeah.
set that. It's not like, hey, go
Hmm.
get whatever you want. It's carb filled. It's like, hey, we got 500 carbs. So you can go get a lot of different things. But guess what? Your fat is still 65. You can't
We'll
go
see.
get a whole
And
pizza and eat it by yourself.
even if I use the word cheat meal, like I don't necessarily worry too much. I agree with you. Like there's a lot of, whatever mindsets around that word. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
even if I use that word, it doesn't matter. Because what I tell them is, okay, we have cheat meal, free meal, whatever on this rest day of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have guidelines of it can't be more than this many calories. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
protein centric.
Mm-hmm.
Carbs are what we're going for to be on the heavy side. Like I want you to get a good amount of carbs and your fats need to stay pretty moderate. Like
Mm-hmm.
they all get, when I give a meal plan, I give them um, their macro breakdown as well. So like if we went
Right.
out of town or something and we needed to track macros, they have it.
Right.
So they know
Mm-hmm.
how many carbs are like even in each meal. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're going to take out the last meal of the day. We're going to replace it with a cheat meal. It can't be more than this amount of calories. I want you to have protein centric. I want the carbs to be higher. You know what your fats should be, so don't go over on fats, right? You're not going
Mm-hmm.
and getting a tub of ice cream for your cheat meal. That's not
Mm-hmm.
how that works. So regardless of the word I use for it, you have these parameters that you can't go outside of. So
Mm-hmm.
with like something like New Year's, like alcohol would be no different. But again, I kind of leave the decision up to them. I make it clear which path we can take, which one I recommend, which one's going to get you the faster. We can do this one, but just make sure that I'm not telling you you can go drink a whole fifth of Jack Daniels. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. Well,
So,
and the reason is not because it's funny because people think like, oh, well, how many calories could that much alcohol possibly have in it? I'm not even eating a meal that night or whatever. I'm like, I don't think you understand. It's not that. It's the fact that you are going to make horrible, terrible, stupid ass decisions that night if you drink that much. There's not a
yeah.
person on this planet that doesn't make bad decisions when they're drunk.
Oh, dude, even me, like I'm a very, very locked in individual when it comes to my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if I happen to get fucked up, like I'm
I'm gonna
I
go to
might I haven't had
Whataburger.
I ain't had McDonald's in a minute
That's
and
what
I
I'm
might even
saying.
settle for that.
That's what I'm
Like
saying. Taco
yeah, so
Bell
I just don't
screaming the
do it.
name, bro.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like that's exactly. I mean, you're exactly right with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the alcohol necessarily. It's more about the decision making process and what it does to your body long term. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just simply what it is. And then people will say, "Oh, well, I sleep better if I drink." It's like, well, no, you don't. You may go to sleep faster, but your sleep is not better
It's the same. It's
because
the
you.
same with weed too. I've started to pull back my time when I smoke all the way till like
Mm-hmm.
3 hours before I go to bed. Dude, sleep way better, and I'm still going to sleep like that. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We
Mm-hmm.
can't rely on. I don't like to rely on anything to perform any natural function the body
Yep.
should be performing.
Yep.
So,
I'm
but yeah, it's the
like
same.
that too. I mean, I think I even had that conversation with you last night. I was like,
Hmm.
just I don't want things controlling my life and making it where if I don't have that, I don't feel a certain way. I should be able
Yeah.
to feel the full spectrum of feelings and emotions or whatever without having to
Hmm.
have something coming
To numb
in
it.
or going
Yeah.
out or yeah, like whatever the case is. Like
Hmm.
I wouldn't want something like that to be in control of my entire existence, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
For sure. And
Which is
food's the
tough
biggest drug that
because,
does that to
dude,
people.
kidding me? Yeah. Food is
does
the biggest drug, but
run the world. But it's
guys,
going
that
to
was
be a new year, and just know that no matter what you do over the holidays, it's going to determine how you're going to feel when the dust settles and holidays are
how
over
do you
and it's
want to
time to
start?
attack a new
Yeah,
year.
how do you want to start 2025? That's how you need to end 2024. Just
Yeah.
think about it like that. How do you
Yeah.
want to start 2025? You need to end 2024 on that same note, right?
Exactly. Momentum will carry. Momentum is
It's as
everything.
simple as that. Yep. All right,
Everything.
guys. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Have a
Enjoy
awesome
it.
New Year, and we will see you guys next year. Had
Yes,
to throw that
sir.
joke in there. Had to. You know what I mean?
See you guys next year. I just got that.
You just caught that one.
He's 30, guys. Give him a break. He's got
Yeah,
dad jokes out the ass.
I got the dad jokes on lock. It's official. All right, guys.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
Episode 5.
We'll see you in 2025.